James, thanks so much, and thanks for the thoughtful and creative staff for that gift. Truly unique, and I don't know what it means that my butt will be sitting on top of City Hall in the future. I'll leave that up to your imagination. I wasn't going to give a speech tonight because I've had many opportunities to, and goodness knows people in this building have heard too much of me. But all of that was in the conduction of daily business, and I've done my best, and so I'm largely going to thank people because this isn't about what I've done or my judgment of my legacy. That's for other people to decide, and I do have some words that I want to say very much in line with what Councilmember LaMalfa has said about cities and how cities are special and how I'm incredibly grateful to have served this city in my own way. But first of all, I have to thank my family. So when you're not filled with, feelings welling up, you don't know how to handle them. Could someone help me with that? I've got to thank my parents who gave me so much opportunity. They can't be here today. My father's passed, but I wouldn't be here without them, that's for sure. And I want to thank my ex-wife, Jen. She was with me for many years, and I wouldn't be here without her. I want to thank my current partner, Angela, who also helps me in daily life and is a wonderful woman. And I want to thank council colleagues as well. It's really, really special to serve on a body like this. In the abstract, first, there are only 7 of us, and in city politics, we're not divided by party, caucus. These are nonpartisan elections, and we don't run as party members, as nominees of a party. And on the ballot, when you vote, there's no party ID next to our names. And that makes all the difference in the world. It creates a certain kind of climate. And we are truly colleagues here. I know these people as individuals, not as members of this or that caucus. And that's one of the reasons you have good city government, is because we don't treat each other as enemies, even though we might come from different backgrounds, we might have different party IDs, we might have different ideologies, and we do. But we're not enemies because we are not, placed in these categories, and we don't use labels to demonize one another as being on the opposite team. It's an amazing experience to be in politics and not be divided by party. And you can only have that experience at the city level. And that is truly amazing, and it's super unique, and I'm really, really thankful to have been able to work with these people. James, you said amazing things about me, and I'm speechless about them. But you serving as vice chair this year has taught me quite a few things, and I hope that our relationship will continue. And we are not from the same background, although we're both white guys, and we may look the same. But we have exchanged quite a bit, and we have a lot to learn from each other. Kyle, District 2, I've already said the kind words for you, and more to come, my friend. Stan Penfold, you have a quiet grace, you have an intelligence that gets radiated on people just by your presence. And I thank you so much for your collegial and professional demeanor and help along the way. Thank you. Aaron Mendenhall, you are a breath of fresh air. I'm so glad you're on this council. Future leadership calls, and even though you're having a baby, you should run for council chair next year. Charlie Luke, you have been a partner in so many things. You've taught me how to be a professional. You're a consummate political professional, man. And I respect your judgment really highly and hope to continue to partake in that. And Lisa Adams, not only good jokes, but true insight. And thank you for continuing to be so outspoken and such a good representative for your District 7. it's been, it can't be repeated. So I really want to thank you and past council members as well that I've served with. Eric Jorgensen, Carlton Christensen, Van Turner. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Jill Love, who I will mention later, and Soren Simonson. Thank you so much. You've taught me a lot. Council staff, Cindy Gus Jensen, you are a true public servant. Thank you for your dedication, which is a total dedication to this council and to this city, and to its lofty ideals of faithfully representing the public's interest. You have an impossible job, and you dispatch it with near perfection. Thank you very much. Keep doing it. Jennifer Bruno, come back. We need you. Lehua Weaver, you are personable, you are professional, you are the perfectly balanced person in your professional life. Thank you so much for being a partner in these years. Russell Weeks, you are a true professional. We've had some fun together, but we've worked really hard together as well. Thank you so much, Russell Weeks. And these people who I'm thanking are not everyone on the list, don't worry. They're people who I've worked with over the years, and I want to take a special moment to mention. Nick Tarbett, we came in at the same time, Nick Tarbett. You were this farm boy from somewhere up north, Cache Valley. And one of us has come a long way, and it's not me. Thanks, Nick Tarbett. You were my first constituent liaison, and you have risen in the council office very meritoriously. Keep up the good work. Jan Aramaki has been a constant presence of wisdom and calm. The council office couldn't exist without you, Jan. And thank you for your friendship over the years. Sean Murphy, who is new to this office, has been a friend and a great collaborator. Thank you, Sean. Libby Stockstill, who is my current liaison, is a true gem and a true professional, and the grace under pressure is really, really impressive, and thank you for taking every single request I've had and doing the best you could with it. Allison Rowland, you have been amazing on really tough policy issues, and even though you're not with us full time, we need you badly, and thank you so much for helping us through issues that this council hasn't dealt with. That's been very, very difficult to deal with. Priscilla Tuau, you too have risen through the office, and it's been really, really impressive to see you grow as a professional. Thank you so much for your friendship over the years. Molly Farmer, who is also gone on maternity leave. Thank you, Molly. You are a District 4 resident, or were, and you have gained great insight from me about District 4, and thank you so much for your communications work. Speaking of communications work, Dan Wiest, Dan, I helped create your job. In other words, communications for the city council. Soren Simonson and I remember in councils past were like, we don't have enough time to really communicate with the public, to get our word out, to make sure people know that we're having a meeting, that we're considering this sort of issue. And Dan Wiest has brought his ingenuity and his energy and has really raised the level for us at the council in communicating with the public. Ben Ludke, we haven't worked that much together. You've filled in frequently, Ben. You've done it with intelligence. You've done it with professionalism. I really appreciate the help you've given along the way. Amber McClelland, you fill in as well for me as a constituent liaison. Whenever you do that, you do it with grace and good humor. Thank you so much. Brian Fulmer, you are a true professional as well, my friend. And thanks for letting me spend some of this time with you. Becky Dangerfield has the hardest job in the council office, which is scheduling us. And she does it with a grace and a soft touch that is absolutely necessary to our success. Kira Castano-Luke is also a front office worker who I have had a very good time getting to know. She does amazing things, an amazing myriad of things. Thank you, Kira Luke. Tracy Fletcher, who I haven't seen for a while, is amazing as well. She has way too many things to do and has always done it with a good spirit, and I appreciate her help along the way. This council office staff is so tight that we have people who used to work here coming back all the time, and I think that's a sign of Cindy Gus Jensen's leadership. People like Cindy Lou Trishman, who's here tonight, Sylvia Richards, who always comes back and helps us with budget issues, are essential to us working well and not making those crazy mistakes that the public would really have our hide for if we weren't double and triple checking everything. And a couple past people, Quinn Card was also my liaison for a short time. Bless you, Quinn. He's moved on to greater things. And Janice Jardine, who was our land use person for so long. I miss Janice, and she's in retirement. Bless you, Janice. Thank you all, City Council staff, for being such a big part of this city's evolution. We couldn't do it without you, and I certainly would have had no success here without City Council staff. Everyone knows that, don't you? That we, the electeds, have the easy job, and it's staff that gets everything done. They tee things up for us by doing all the research, by doing public engagement, by doing constituent service, by refining our discussions and returning them to us then in a form that we can push our decisions along. It's not done without the staff, and you are the true heroes of this democracy. Thank you very much. David Everett, thank you, man. I appreciate these 8 years we've spent together at this desk and at other desks. You really have dispatched yourself, your job, in a highly professional manner. You are an amazing guy. It's the hardest job in the city, and I highly, highly respect that. You're amazing. Good luck in the future. Thank you. Jill Love and Mary De La Marchafer, you two have offered this city so much. Jill as a former council member, and I thank her for her collegiality over the years. Her professionalism in moving to the administration has been amazingly seamless. And thank you, Jill. And Mary, you've worked really hard from day one, and nothing would have gotten done in this building without Mary De La Marchafer behind the scenes in very important positions. Thank you, Mary. Robin Hutchison, our transportation director, has been fantastic to work with as well. We're obsessed with transportation in this town. It's one of the few things we're allowed to do as city councils, is to really treat our public spaces and our streets with care, and Robin Hutchison has been a great teacher and a great partner along the way. Thank you. These planners, Nick Norris, Noel Walkingshaw, all of the staff planners that I can't mention because there are too many doing too many good things and too much good work, but I've worked especially with Nick Norris and Noel Walkingshaw. Thank you so much. You've been my educator, and you've been great partners in doing great things. From sustainability, Vicki Bennett and Debbie Lyon. Debbie Lyons, we're going to vote on a recycling ordinance tonight that has been in her hands for probably about 6 years. And what a great partnership I have felt. Because we're going to have recycling for apartment buildings and businesses at the end of this meeting. And there are many cities that are filling up their landfills without any regard. And we're taking a very responsible step for the environment as well as our taxpayers. Rick Graham from Public Services. You're an amazing, amazing professional, Rick Graham. And you've been so accommodating and helpful over the years. I've learned a lot from you, and you were an amazing, amazing man, professional. He's the biggest, probably the biggest department in the city. Jeff Niermeyer from the Water Department, the Sewer Department, Public Utilities. Laura Briefer from Water. Thank you for your stewardship. It's incredibly important. Thank you for your partnership. Orion Goff. We spoke earlier this evening, Orion, and you are one of my superstars. You are a tough, tough professional and maintain the integrity of our built environment with great care. Thank you. Gina Chamness, who is our budget director and now our finance director, has a universal knowledge of the city that is almost impossible for one person to have besides the mayor and the chief of staff. And Gina Chamness, thank you for your partnership over the years. You're amazing. IMS, our video people, you are the unsung heroes behind the camera and behind the editing machine. You guys have taken massive, massive steps in informing the public over the years about what we do here, and it's really important that people know that we're doing that stuff here. And security as well. These guys are intentionally behind the scenes, but I know I speak for my fellow council members to know how much we appreciate security here in this building. Thank you so much. You all are the true professionals that have schooled me over the years and helped me along the way, and I would have gotten nothing done without you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your patience tonight. That's a ridiculously long list, and I've left a lot of people off. So thank you for your patience. I do want to talk a little bit about cities just because I didn't want to be the guy who didn't have somewhat of a speech. Cities endure, and cities are the place for democracy as well. There's something special about cities, and it has to do with their scale. We can still have a face-to-face politics in cities. We can know our mayor. We can know our city council reps. We can go to a community council meeting and because they're looking so desperately for volunteers, you can be elected to the board that night if you happen to be there on election night. It's not just Utah, and it's not just this city, it's cities in general, are really open to participation by citizens because we do have this scale that's accessible to people. And in a time where this nation seems to have less and less common purpose, it's at the city level where we can find that common purpose. I really believe that the site for a politics that's not just bargaining of interests or not just war by other means, but a community building politics and a reconciliatory politics can happen. And I fully believe that we can, because of the power of community, we can solve our most pressing problems. I mean, issues like homelessness or joblessness or clean air, poverty or lack of opportunity. We can't rely on the national government to solve those issues for us anymore. We need to do it locally, and we can do it locally. This community, Salt Lake City, has shown its amazing power to come together to solve problems. And that, for me, is politics in the positive sense. And it's at the city level where that can happen more than any other level. I feel really, 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 really fortunate to have been able to serve this city that I love so much. I hope to continue to do that in other ways, and I thank you all for the work you've done and the work you'll do in the future for the sake of the city that we all love, Salt Lake. Thank you.